everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Let's Talk by Kui. I am Kui, and this is my friend Terry. Today, the first topic we're going to talk about is Myasthenia Gravis. This topic is very personal for me. This is because I have had Myasthenia Gravis since 2006, and my friend here, Terry, the same, but I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Kui. It's so lovely to be here. Yes, I've had Myasthenia Gravis this is my 10th year now, from 2015.
Oh, mine, I've had it since 2006. That's roughly, I think I'd say 19 years.
yeah.
Yes. So this is June. We're in June, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. June is Myasthenia Gravis Awareness Month. And this is why I decided let it be the first video we do. And we are just going to share our perspective of Myasthenia Gravis, not the medical perspective. None of us is a doctor. We're just people who've had Myasthenia Gravis. And I'd let Terry first to share her story.
So for me, from 2015, that is when I was diagnosed. It started, the symptoms that the symptoms that most of the people who have MG share are droopy eyelids. For me, it was the first thing that happened. My left eye just drooped. So after a few days, I'm thinking I'm going to get better. Maybe something beat me at night. And then after a few days, both of them are now drooped. That's when I went to see an ophthalmologist at Aga Khan. But immediately she saw me, she said that she just saw me and said that she knows what is happening, but she's highly suspecting it might be something different from just an eye problem. We did a couple of tests and then, it came out to be Myasthenia Gravis.
For her, hers is better because for me, I got diagnosed after having symptoms for more than a year. My first symptom was my smile. Something about Myasthenia Gravis that most people don't know is that it comes out differently in different people. But the most common symptoms are droopy eyelids, and then when you smile, you have a funny smile, like it's stretched out, and then also speech. So for me, it was my smile, speech, and then the eyes. It's like the three of them came at once. So my eyes would droop, and then when I smile, I have a funny smile, and my speech was slurred. Talking ni kama nimekunywa pombe, slurred speech. So that was my first symptom. But I was in boarding school. I was all the way in Kitale. So it took me so long to get diagnosis because I was going to hospital in Eldred, and they treated me for different things before finding out. It took me a year to actually be diagnosed with Myasthenia Gravis. Yeah. So let me ask some questions I wanted to ask. Yeah. How has Myasthenia Gravis really, really affected your life?
To start off, when I got diagnosed, that's the year that I wanted to do my actuarial papers. Yeah?
Yes, she did actuarial.
I did actuarial science in campus. And funny thing, I've never practiced. I just stopped with the diagnosis. Stopped because when you read online about it, it tells you that, your life is over, you're going to be needing people always taking care of you. So genuinely, your life will change. And with that realization, I think I had a small son. So I was thinking I will not have time to do everything and try being in his life and think. I think there's a lot going on through my mind. So I had to have like a career detour. Yeah, I think that is one of the things it changed in me. The things that I used to think that I'm going to be in such a big farm working, Yeah, so, yeah. And you?
I think for me, I feel like, okay, now I'm at a better place. But that time I feel like Myasthenia really, it pulled me backwards because there's so much I wouldn't do. So in high school, I had to deter like 2 terms, then continue. Yeah. And I genuinely feel like if I wasn't sick and if I hadn't missed those 2 terms in school, I'd have done better in my KCSE. Yeah. I was a bright student, for those who know. But right now I joke about it because I got a C+. But I feel like if I had attended class the same way other people had and not missed those very many days being sick, I would have done better. And then also when I cleared Form 4, there was that unspoken thing like, back then we were staying in Eldoret, so I wouldn't come to Nairobi to school because I needed a constant monitoring.
Yeah.
Because I was okay, but I used to have constant flare-ups. So even the course I chose to do, I did a course that would stress me less, required less energy. So I feel like at that time, I felt like myasthenia really made me not live to my full potential. Yes, that is on the negative things that I felt about myasthenia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And I don't know
true.
if that's the same for you.
It honestly, when you go through like a rare disease, you realize that it steals a lot. It takes away from you. It does.
Exactly.
It does. It really does. And I think it cuts across all rare diseases because most times, even with MG, you're labeled as faking.
Yes.
You're pretending. You're just lazy.
Yes.
There's so many terms to it, and truth is, you're just different. And it's okay to be different. I think as we are getting to have new members and more, we are realizing that life is actually okay.
Yeah.
And as much as it's taken from us, we're also taking back what we as in we're taking back our happiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because something else I would also add, you see, why it's very hard. When you have myasthenia gravis, it is very rare. Actually, when you Google about it, it says it's a rare autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
When I was diagnosed, until I was, I think, 27 or 28 is when I found out there's someone else with the condition. I actually thought I was alone. That is when I found you guys.
Yeah.
I was so excited by then. So anyway, the first time I was the only one. So the only information I had was online.
Yeah.
And you see, the thing about myasthenia gravis, now this I'm talking to the other people because at least you know,
Yeah.
it reacts differently from other people.
Yeah.
I can wake up today and I'm okay, and tomorrow I'm not able to get out of bed. My hands can't do anything. I'm not able to feed myself. It's so bad because sometimes you'd even want to lift a spoon, you cannot feed yourself.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow you are 100, you are perfect. So there's a lot of society thinking you are faking because they don't understand what is really happening. And also that thing really affected me because most of the time you'd tell someone I'm unwell. How are you unwell? And yesterday I saw
okay.
you are okay.
You are jumping.
Yes. So also, Terry, tell us about the treatments you chose.
Now, for me, the first, after diagnosis, the ophthalmologist referred me to a neurologist. Now, that's a doctor that treats myasthenia gravis because it's a neuromuscular disorder. So when I was referred to a neurologist, I was given treatment options, which was the first thing I think they do. They load you on a lot of mestinon, steroids, which is prednisolone, and then azathioprine. But then the doctor also informed us of thymectomy, which is the removal of the thymus gland.
Yeah.
The thymus gland is a gland. It's like something just above the heart. It's an organ.
Yes.
Whereby apparently it's supposed to be, by the time you're turning 18, it's supposed to have disappeared. But for people with MG, some people, because there are people who don't have thymus and they still have MG.
Yeah.
So for some, it just stays and continues secreting now the acetylcholine. Acetylcholine it's like the hormone that goes around your body, telling your body it's weak. And then your muscles collapse. So when the doctor suggested that if at all we removed, it can be a treatment plan for us. And then my parents and I were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's see if that will work. So I got diagnosed, I think, around September. I got thymectomy done in October. So it was rushed.
Yeah.
Now that is the one thing I feel like I did wrong. I think I should have taken more time because now I'm seeing some of our members, they still have their thymus.
Yes.
And they're okay. Maybe they didn't require it. But for some, they swear by it. Maybe that is what has helped them. So you can't really tell. It's from person to person basis. So we did that. And then after the thymus was removed, things became bad. I think all the symptoms now just came. My eyes, my hands, my chewing became difficult. Walking, everything was hard. All my muscles were now affected. And now comes to 2019. All through this from 2015 to 2019, I'm now on like 15 pills a day, every day. That is a lifestyle for people with MG.
Yes.
Medication is like food for their body. Now, when it came to 2019, the medication just stopped working for me. And that's when my doctor suggested we try rituximab, which is a form of chemotherapy. And that is the first time I think I felt like myself. I got that drug for about 9 hours, the first dose for 9 hours. Because they put it like drip by drip. Apparently, you see when the doctors come in, they are just covered. You're thinking, because they are covered. You even get scared. And you're the one who's receiving now. And then they tell you the doctor has to monitor. The nurse was monitoring after every 5 minutes. Imagine after a drop, then after 5 minutes, the nurse comes just to check your vitals. Because apparently if it doesn't work for you, it will take you to ICU.
Yeah.
So we did that. I slept, blacked out. When I woke up, I sort of never felt like myself.
You felt like it was a miracle.
Yes. I could just feel like I have this strength that I didn't know. And you see, with the time, that period of my weakness and everything happening, I could have never gone to the washroom. At the public toilet, at the alone, I can never. I used to hold until I go home because I was like, I'm going to fall. So I tested. I went to Aga Khan, the washrooms. I am squatting. I'm like, what? Anyway, I'm good. That's how I knew, like, it worked. It worked for me. The doctor was actually shocked. He was, with him, he said, I was the first patient in Kenya to have gotten rituximab for MG. And they had seen it in the States, but they were just testing it out. I was their lab rat. But it worked.
Yeah. And when Terry says it worked for her, mine is different. So when you have myasthenia gravis, there's always the option of having surgery, but the surgery has a 50-50 chance. No, actually, it gives you 3 results. You can have surgery, you remain the same with your symptoms, you get better, or you get worse. So for me, I did not, when I had the 3 options, I don't know why I was so scared. What if it gets worse?
Yeah.
Or what if I go through all this and it remains the same? Yeah. So I've never had surgery. I've always been on medication. So I've had relapses along the way, but I've always been on medication. Yeah. So even now, you see like this, I still have my medication. Personally, for me, since 2006, I've always been on medication for myasthenia gravis. Yeah. So I needed people to know there are other options. There's the surgery. Yeah. Right now, there's rituximab. She's the first patient to try it out. For my own reasons, I have not done it. But right now, I have really managed to... Because the last relapse I had that was very bad was in between 2017 and 2018. Yeah. It came because I had a baby. So sometimes there are other things that trigger myasthenia gravis. Like for me, it was manageable. Then when I had the baby, I relapsed so badly, even breathing, because I ended up in ICU. Right now, it's manageable. For the last 2 years, I'd say I have not experienced severe weakness. Yeah. But they're triggered by other things. There's, for some people, there's your periods, an infection, but I've always been on a medication. So also, sometimes people tell you, but I know someone who had surgery. Why don't you just do surgery? Different bodies react differently. The same way we experience very different symptoms. Yeah. There are those people whose myasthenia only affects their eyes. Yeah. There are those people whose myasthenia affects the whole body. Like for me, it was the whole
general
body.
Myasthenia.
Yeah, I have general myasthenia. So when I get weak, it starts step by step. Yeah. Like my eyes, then my speech. My speech is always constant, and my smile. Yeah. Then now the walking and the feeding. So for the same way myasthenia has different symptoms, it's the same way there's different treatments for everyone. Even medication. For some of us who've had medication, we are a group of like 30 people now, right?
No, we're more.
Oh, but then right now we are more.
We're like 100
yes,
plus. Yeah.
Yes, 100 plus. Yeah. And if we all sit down and remove the medications we take, not all of us have the same meds. That's different. Something else people don't know. Yeah. So why it's also very important for us to create this awareness. Yes. One, our symptoms are different. Yes. Our medication journeys are different. Yes. So people don't know that.
And also the way you've said, triggers are different.
Yeah, triggers are different. Yes. Like for me, for the longest time, my periods was a very sensitive. I wouldn't plan anything around my periods. Yeah. If I have any infection, and then now let me tell you something funny that we discussed when we met the other time is there are some people when they eat wheat, it affects them. They become Like
Yes.
the way Lady L would eat wheat and she
Yeah.
could not stand up, she could not
Yes.
talk. So for me, the foods that used to affect me so much, no, I didn't have any foods. For me, paint,
Yeah.
strong paint
Oh,
would
it
make me
affects
very
you.
weak. Your arufia paint, perfumes. There are perfumes that if I use or I sat next to someone with that perfume, I would feel very weak. My eyes would start drooping
Yeah.
and I'd start just feeling very weak. So also the triggers are different for so many people. And then overall, stress is for someone who's having myasthenia gravis.
Yeah.
We usually just advise each other.
Yes.
Let's not be in very stressful situations. Avoid. I know life is stressful.
Yeah.
But avoid
you
stressful
can.
situations if you can. I mean,
Yes.
life is already hard.
Yeah. You don't need to add on.
You don't need to add on. Yeah. So,
I even feel for some weather, temperature,
yeah.
extreme temperatures, extreme sun, heat, and extreme cold weather.
That's me
It
also.
affects. And also emotions.
Yeah.
Extremely happy, extremely angry.
Yes.
It's just interesting. MG is quite interesting.
It's because I remember when we were discussing it and someone tells you when you're excited, you're extremely happy,
Yeah.
you become weak.
Yes.
And now, the more you're doing the research, is
Yeah.
like for me, for the longest time, I never really used to like going to Mombasa. That heat used to make me very weak. And then when it's very cold also, like that weather in June, July, used to make me very weak. Right now, my body has just managed.
Yeah.
The one thing that really affects me so much is extreme heat.
Yeah.
Extreme heat is still very bad for me.
Yeah.
But like right now, the cold doesn't.
Yeah.
And you see, some people ask you, what have you done different?
Yeah.
Genuinely nothing. I think I just put myself in situations that don't affect me. I just take my medications.
Yes.
Because there's nothing I've done differently. At least you've done rituximab.
Yeah.
You're a whole new person.
Yeah.
But for me, I've just been taking the same meds I used to take.
But I feel it's still, if at all it's working for you, don't change it.
Yeah.
Because even for me to try rituximab, it's because the medication was not working for me. So it's still okay. And you do what, actually with MG, we say you do what works for you. That is what you do.
Okay, let me also ask you something else because you're very vocal in our group. What is it you'd advise someone that is newly diagnosed with myasthenia gravis?
First of all, join our group. That is the best place for comfort.
Yeah.
Because I remember, you see that thing for feeling alone. You're thinking you're the only person in Kenya. Kwanza now you're even putting yourself in that seclusion.
Yes.
In Kenya, in Africa. You're the only person with MG. It really helps to have a support group. And then when you come to our group, you find people who are living life and bubbly and kind and nice. We have a very good support system. We might not have donor funding, but we try our best to help the members that don't have. So first join our group because it is the only one for people with MG.
Yes.
Secondly, take it a day at a time. Talk to people, even if it's individually. Ask them, inquire all these treatment plans. Before you decide on one, inquire, do your research. Don't just, because your doctor has said do this, you do. No, I'm not saying your doctor is wrong, but it's good to just exhaust all the options you have. And then now sit down and discuss with your doctor. Sometimes even your doctors don't know all the treatment plans.
Yeah.
That is the thing. With MG, you learn that the patients, because we're the ones going through this, we know much more. Sometimes my doctor knows a lot.
Yes.
But you get. So do your research and pros and cons of every treatment because, they will all have that.
Yeah.
And then now settle on a treatment plan and then now start on it. But I feel like we've established a very beautiful safe haven for people with MG. Because I remember most of us were just thinking, everyone was thinking they're alone.
Yeah.
And it's very rare. So just having that group, it helps. It really does.
And also something else I always say, when you're diagnosed, I think maybe what I have learned, acceptance is a very hard thing. For me, I was diagnosed when I was younger. I didn't even know whether I'm accepting it. But, there are times where it's not really about acceptance. Now, what do? I just have to live with it.
Yeah.
But I've realized as you grow older, as an adult, you also realize that the first thing after your diagnosis is find ways I'm so sorry. Find ways on how you will live with this condition and accept it in your heart, because you see, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
It's going to get better. There are days it's going to get worse. So when you join a group like ours, you realize people have bad days, good days.
Yeah.
And what keeps us going is just having hope.
Yes.
Because there are also people who've tried all forms of treatment and nothing is really working.
True.
Yes. It's not... to get where we are, we've gone through the stages of, I tried this, it didn't work. Personally, I've changed my medication 3 times. I did another one. The side effects were very strong. So I stopped. I did a different one. It was manageable. Then just came after I got my firstborn, it stopped being effective. So I changed. What I am on right now, at first, this time I was very fat. Yeah, those are side effects of medication.
Yes.
You are given a very high dosage of steroids. And we really need to talk about that. Yeah, so there's that medication called steroids. So when you under that high dosage, it really helps your body, but the side effects are very severe. So now I'm on my 3rd trial, and I've been on it since COVID time to now, and it is working perfectly.
Then that is good.
Yes, and you see, the last time I was on very high dosage of steroids is in 2018, and I still have the side effects of steroids
Until now.
Yeah. And you see, you need to do the research, because some of these medications, like the steroids, they can cause high blood pressure. They can raise your sugars. So you're on treatment for myasthenia gravis, but other things have cropped up, like you have sugar issues. I remember there's a time...
Hyperthyroidism.
Yes. There are other conditions that can come up because of you being on some medications.
Yes.
PCOS. I remember by my PCOS.
Yeah.
My bone structure was very low.
Yes.
There was a time my teeth would just break. There are other issues, like body issues, like being very fat.
Yeah. Steroids.
Yeah.
Moon face. Yeah.
I still have the steroid tummy.
Yes.
So you really need to do your research to understand what am I getting myself into. It's just not about feeling better. You can feel better health-wise, but emotionally you're so damaged.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there are steroids, a very high dosage of steroid can really push you to the extreme. There's anger issues.
Yes.
There's feeling like you're depressed. Yeah.
Steroids are a lot.
Yes. But all in all, why is it so important for you to create awareness on myasthenia gravis?
Because I feel like if we do this, at least people will not feel alone anymore. Most people, like when they say that it's 1 out of 100,000 people, I genuinely believe, because we've had MGSK for Myasthenia Gravis Society of Kenya for how many years right now? I think 5?
5 years.
5 years now, yeah. And if at all it's 5 years and we are 110 there, that tells you a lot. It's actually 1 out of 100,000. So you don't want anyone to go through what you went through. So I feel it's very important to do advocacy for myasthenia gravis. Also, to fight for opportunities for us.
Yes.
We are categorized as persons living with disability or able differently.
Yes.
But it's taken so much fight. You remember when we were lobbying at NHIF?
Yes.
Trying to get at least subsidized drugs and things like that. Coverage. When we're doing these treatments, it's so expensive.
Yes, by there, I've remembered how we used to go and do all those things. But the good thing is right now, for someone with myasthenia gravis, you are persons living with disability.
Yes.
And sometimes people ask me, why do I have the disability sticker in my car? I don't like getting into details. And I also have the card. But in Kenya, I'm recognized as someone living with a disability, which I am. Myasthenia gravis is is it unseen disability?
It's an invisible disability.
It's an invisible disability. So that's why we get that. And then for someone with the invisible disability and you're employed, it also comes in handy because the medications are very expensive.
Yes.
So for those who are employed are actually exempted from pay.
Tax.
Yeah. And it helps them because you see when you're exempted, that money that you've saved is what now at least you can put it back for your medication, health insurance. Okay.
And also duty when you're importing a car. Yeah, those are things that I feel we need to really talk about, because not many members know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's important. I mean, we're already suffering in one area.
Yes.
Why you're accepting everywhere? If you can change it, then yeah.
And there's also something else people, I feel like people don't understand. Someone with myasthenia gravis might wake up feeling very well in the morning. And by afternoon, this person is not able to walk or talk. And sometimes they are not even able to push themselves.
Yeah.
Like I remember for me, I would not be somewhere where I don't know anyone, because there was a time it was so rampant that I would fall. I remember there was a time I was coming from school. I was in Kenya Methodist.
Okay.
And I just fell. And I was walking with my friend. So when I was in Kenya Methodist, I think it happened so many times.
Yeah.
I just used to make sure I am not walking alone, because what if I fall and no one knows what to do? So there are also those risks that, like right now, I walk alone because I don't remember the last time it happened. But at that point, even when you're going to work, you need to tell the people around you, this might happen.
Yeah.
The walking is not fainting. It's just that your body gets a weakness that you cannot explain, and it just drops like that. Yeah.
You just drop. I remember I fell around Afia Center, and then a car just passed me like this. That was the last time I told myself I'll never go to town alone, and never go to town all in all, because I was traumatized. Genuinely, for me to actually be able to do things on my own after that experience, it took a lot. Because even after rituximab and I could see myself, I can walk, I'm feeling my body, I'm feeling strong again, I still could never go to town. That and cross the road. It was go to town and cross the road. I had to have company. Yeah, but we tell each other that those are traumas that you get over slowly.
Yes. I think for me, the one thing that used to scare me a lot is like if I'm walking, okay, it still happens. Right now I can walk. So sometimes I'm in Karura. If it just hits me, I forgot my medication.
Oh.
That is where I stop walking. I start getting anxious. I start wondering, what if it happens? It hasn't happened for so long, but it still triggers me. Like my medication is the one thing I always, it's like, you see the way you cannot go anywhere without money or a phone.
Yeah.
For me, it is my medication and my phone. In case anything happens, I can call someone or I can tell someone. And then also for me, I don't go places without informing my partner, I am going here and here and here. Just in case anything happens, this is where you should get me.
Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like when you have an autoimmune condition, especially one that can be risky like myasthenia gravis, also surround yourself with friends. If it's the person you're dating, we were talking with Lydiel about the type of person you date.
Yeah.
Let this be someone who understands.
Yeah.
Someone who accepts you for who you are. Because there's so many times you'll call on them like, I'm in the salon, you need to come pick me. I can't stand from this chair. I cannot walk down the stairs. Yeah. And this person should not be the type of person here. Like, why did you go? And
So
I still ulifika aje, ulienda kwa nini? I still need to live my life.
Yeah.
So this person should be able to know that you are just trying to live your life, but this person will be there for you.
Yeah.
I think surrounding yourself with people who understand, who love you unconditionally, and who will not get tired is important, because you can also get tired of yourself.
True.
Yes.
True. You need a very strong support system. Yeah. And also there's something we forgot to mention. Our members have wristbands, emergency wristbands.
Yeah.
So in case something happens to any of us, you can easily be tracked, and someone can help you, can spot a number on the wristband that is your emergency contact. Even it's written very clearly that you have contraindication to some medications. So even when you're taken to a hospital which does not understand what is happening, they can easily see that you have MG. And I feel that is very important.
Yeah.
That is very important.
Because for me, you see why I'm telling you, it hasn't happened for so long. I don't have my wristband. Do you have yours?
No.
But Lydiel has.
Yeah.
So we on the wristband, it normally has emergency contact.
Yeah.
the drugs that react with you. Like
Yes.
for me, it's tramadol. And then also when I'm on antibiotic, I don't take antibiotics more than 750 milligrams per dosage. It has to be 750 and below.
yeah.
So for me to be safe, I normally do 500.
Yeah.
So even when you go to the hospital, do you know, surprisingly,
Yeah.
some of these hospitals, you tell them when they are checking and they say, are you on medications for anything? You tell them and they are so shocked that they don't know anything about myasthenia gravis.
yes.
Yeah, it's not common to an
Yeah.
extent that there are some medics who've never heard about
Yeah.
it. Like personally, when I'm just going to the hospital, maybe I feel like maybe I have a stomach bug or something. I go to a specific hospital. It's in Kiambu because that doctor has my history.
Yeah.
He knows, he understands. So even when he recommends for me medication, he knows exactly what will react.
Yeah.
No, this one will be too heavy. And this is someone who tells you, and if you feel like this medication gave you some sort of weakness, just let me know. We can stop it. Yeah.
That's actually, I think not changing doctors is very important.
Very important.
Yeah. And I feel like even me, I met a doctor, I think it was sometime last year. And then I'm explaining to this doctor, I have myasthenia gravis. I think I'd gone because of my tummy was aching or something. It was at Avenue. So the doctor is like, oh, I've only read about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, now you can see a patient with. Yeah, and then that's when I think the doctors just research. But it's important to have your notes.
Yeah.
Having your notes, it's the first thing, because I feel like doctors, they deal with so much just to specify a certain condition. They will get different conditions, people living with different conditions every other day. So when you have yours, at least you'll know how to direct, and at least they can help you from that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, let me add something else. You remind me of something. Even when you're seeing your doctor,
Yeah.
I remember the first time I told my doctor, when I'm on my periods, I am completely weak. I need someone to help me stand. I need someone to take me somewhere.
Yeah.
He said he had not heard of that.
Yeah.
Then the next time I went to see him, he said, no, you're not the only person with that complaint. Because as much as we are saying it's different for everyone,
Yeah.
I can have, someone else might be having myasthenia gravis, but they don't have weakness during their periods.
Yeah.
Because for me, my periods were just hell. I would become very weak. And you'd even tell them, no, I'm not going to work because I'm on my periods. And someone would tell you, your periods. When I used to get something like a cold, for me, a cold would bring me down. I wouldn't walk. And it's just a cold.
Yeah.
So for me, my periods are cold, and any time I'm somewhere where there's dust, paint, very strong perfume,
It's a trigger.
It's a trigger for me. My weakness would just start. And you see, these are things, not unless you're with someone who's a bit woke, someone who can research, they actually think that's a lie.
Yeah.
Really?
It looks like you're just you're such a hypocrite.
Yes.
You came running and then now you're saying,
because you're seated next to someone with a strong perfume, all
You're
of a
saying
sudden
that
you
you're
can't.
weak.
Yeah. Or you tell someone, this place is painted yellow, the light is coming in, it would affect my eyes so badly, they'll droop. People don't understand. And sometimes I don't blame people.
Yeah.
Recently, I'd gone for a girls' trip with my friends, and then we took photos, and they could see my eyes, and they were asking me, what's wrong with your eyes? And I just laughed because I'm at a good place now, but I couldn't explain to them that my eyes have dropped.
Yeah.
And it's probably because I was so exhausted. We had not rested. So the exhaustion was showing on my eyes. Oh. And when I take flights like right now, I book the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm seated maybe for a 5-hour flight.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the going up. I just don't know. But mostly when I get off the flight, I'm usually just my legs are weak.
Yeah.
So I have to pay for the wheelchair service. Yeah. I just have to. My flight ticket has to have a wheelchair service allocated on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like there's no much awareness. You see the way you tell someone, "Oh, I have." Arthritis, people know what to expect.
Arthritis,
I have TB. People know what to expect. I have diabetes. But for our condition, and it's myasthenia gravis is classified. In short, we call it MG. Yeah. So MG is classified under rare diseases.
Yes.
Yeah. It's actually classified under rare
diseases.
It's I was reading and I saw lupus is more common than
MG.
And you see
Also,
most... And,
I saw that.
Yeah.
That is
I realize
shocking.
lupus is more common than MG.
Yeah.
So there's so much people don't know. And I think we are really pushing for awareness.
Advocacy, yes.
So that also the people who are in the villages, the people who cannot
Yeah.
access treatment can learn, so that they can also know there are ways they can live their life better. Personally, right now, I don't feel like MG robbed me so much. I just feel like it made me, especially when I became a mom, it actually made me feel like with my firstborn, I felt like I missed, there's some important things I missed about being a mom, because after I got my first child is when I had the biggest relapse.
Yeah.
So now I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm crying, but I'm okay.
I get it. I understand.
I feel like there's parts of being a mom I missed.
Yeah.
And I do a lot to compensate, but it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah. But if there's more awareness,
Yeah.
I feel like people would be more understanding.
Yeah.
People would know what
more
to
sympathetic.
Yes, more sympathetic.
Yeah.
People would be very careful with their comments.
Yes.
People would know what to expect. Patients would know what to expect.
Yes. Kwanza comments. Hey.
Yes.
Guys are just I think people don't know how to communicate sometimes, because you make such mean comments.
Yes.
And then you don't know how it's affecting someone, and they're actually living a very difficult life, but you don't understand because you see them smiling out there sometimes. And people just need to learn how to communicate better,
Or
respectfully,
yes,
or keep their comments to themselves.
And I also think don't look at someone and just assume.
Yeah.
Like, I've learned so much with being someone who has a condition that people don't understand or they don't know about.
Yeah.
So when I see people, regardless of what they're doing or how they're doing it, I just tend to respect how people do things without judging.
Yes.
There's so many hidden problems people have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important. I think that's the way of life. I think as you grow, you understand, like, first, when you go through something, like, it's not easy. It's not just because we are wearing it with a smile. It's because we've had so much experience with it and living with it. And we just decided to take our lives back.
Yes.
But truth is, every person that I've met who's been diagnosed, they've had a moment of depression.
Yes.
Even I myself, and in my family, I think you've met most of my family. And I'm the bubbly one. I'm the one who's always making friends. I'm an extrovert. But the first years of my diagnosis, I didn't have any friends. I was that person. I changed into this person who didn't respond to texts, didn't call back my friends. I didn't feel like talking because I was going through something. I wanted to understand what is happening. Am I dying? Because when you're reading, you're thinking you're dying the next day. You're not even going to see the next year.
Yeah.
Like, there was and I have a small son. I'm thinking I'm going to leave my son. Like, there's so much that happens. So when you see someone smiling and living, let them. You do not know their story. Let them. Yeah.
And also, now that we're here as ladies, it also affects men.
Yes.
Yes, we have, in our group, we have men. Yeah. There are people, I think if we are, because we're here just as ladies, people would think MG is just for ladies. No, it affects men, but the majority are women.
Yes.
Yeah. And it normally pops out more during adolescence.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think you need to have a couple of male interviewees.
The next one we'll do it with Kim Tai.
Yes, it's important.
We have a few men who would talk, but it affects so many men.
Yeah.
But the majority of people are women.
I think it's because they're shy to talk about the kinds of symptoms they go through. Because for them it's bad as well.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's really sad. MG really does a lot. It does a lot.
Also, something else, I think when we say myasthenia gravis, the actual explanation is your body muscles becoming weak.
Yes, they shut down.
Yeah. Like, you have no strength on your fingertips. You can't even shake someone's hand like this. Yeah.
In fact, it's all your voluntary muscles.
Yes.
All, even your eyes, eyelids, like breathing, chewing, everything that is voluntary in your body, it shuts. And hence,
Yeah. So, I wanted to ask time. But anyway, this is the first video we've done. And this is my first video. I'm so happy to host Terry, and also to talk about myasthenia gravis. And the next video we'll still do something else because we're still in June. We need to do 2 videos for myasthenia gravis. So to end it all, I would just say, if you know someone who has an autoimmune disease or has some symptoms that look like that, you can advise them to go to hospital. But at the same time, we need to encourage each other and tell each other that it's not really the end of life. At first, during diagnosis, the minute you're just diagnosed, it feels like it's the end of everything. It feels like there's no tomorrow. You may never get better, but it does get better. It's not easy. We've not had it easy, right? If you look at us, we look like we have it
figured out,
but we don't. We have bad days and good days, but now we mostly have good days.
Yes, and we thank God.
Yes. So if you know someone with myasthenia gravis, you can tell them about us. There's an MGSK, that's Myasthenia Gravis Society of Kenya.
That's on Instagram.
And that's on Instagram. We have a WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Where we share, we talk. They can reach out. We try so much to encourage each other.
Yes.
Sometimes we might advise on where to get medication, who to go see. Yeah.
And where the medication is cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for having me, Kui. So lovely. Yeah. It's MG Awareness Month and we want to make the best out of it, the most out of it, do advocacy as much as we can and just, let people know more about us. It's been hard fighting with all these places, the government places, offices, trying
and
to just
hospitals,
stop.
And going to that place, what's the place we normally go for to get the card?
Oh, yeah. The
NCWPD.
Yeah, National Council of Persons with Disability.
But finally we got the recognition. Yes. And I think that's the best part was us getting the recognition.
And you saw, we had one of our members fight for their rights in duty. Even KRA are now recognizing us.
Yes.
Yeah, which is important because you can't tell me you can quantify the level of disability to someone. Of someone, I'm telling you I'm weak. But can you see weakness?
No, you cannot.
It is an invisible disability. That is why. So that's kudos to our member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also for those people who don't really understand but support, we really also applaud them. Our families, our friends who are very supportive. Yes. And every June we try a fundraising.
Yes.
The fundraising is usually we have a small kitty for those people who can't afford medication. Like she said, we don't have funding yet. So we normally just have a kitty and the money is usually just given to those people who can't afford medication.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this year, it's called Kim Tai and Friends, the cycling team. They've always, this is their 5th year of cycling for us, for the course. And this year, we do it again. The team is so strong. They can't wait to support us. So please, if you can, send what you can. We'll share the pay bills and till numbers on our Mchanga. If you can spare something, it'll really help because it helps the members who are needy.
Yeah. So for anyone who wants to join the group, on Instagram, we are there as MG Society of Kenya and also on Facebook, MG Society of Kenya. Even if you feel like you have the symptoms but you're not so sure, you can still join and we can advise you on what to do. You can always send us a DM. Immediately you send us a DM, there's someone who will always reach out. We'll take the number. Just send us the DM with your details. Someone will call you or WhatsApp you. Thank you so much. And let's stay tuned for the next episode.
Yes.